So, I haven't. I do remember streaming this a long time ago, but I never really saved a highlight of it, so I guess there's no better time than the present to do this now. At least there would be if there wasn't some sort of problem with the thing. Well, at least I can do that one. That's not a problem. See, I was going to do the two-player version of this so where I can pick my character, but I guess it's out of the question. For whatever reason. So yes, I'm about to stream Tmnt, the arcade game.
No, don't do it, Reese.
Yes.
Enforcer, hit the red button.
The red button.
Why would I do that? I like this game, so yeah.
No! Mutiny! Mutineer! You will be shot for this.
Cowabunga!
Oh, I'm actually going to be getting extra fancy with this build. I'll be using an M.2 for my SSD for my main drive.
Okay, I'm going to try and do this with 20 lives and see if I didn't really need all of them.
Fire!
Which is the newest generation of Intels? Is it Skylake or Devil's Canyon? So I could have sworn it was Devil's Canyon.
I have lost track. Okay, the game is a little too loud. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. There we go.
Ah, Skylake is the newer one.
But is it good?
Probably. There's something called a Cabby Lake, which is the talk of the TikTok cycle. I'll have, I believe they do what socket type they use? Oh. Well, isn't that something? Serving as the... I'm gonna have to look into this a little bit more.
Oh?
I've got to figure... I want to get one of the newer processors for sure. Got to figure out what the, let's see...
Even after turning up turning down the volume on the game, it still sounds like it's a little too loud. I'm gonna turn this down a couple more notches. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna wait for Rocksteady to pull out his gun because that's what I want him to do. Then he'll back himself against the wall.
Say your prayers, Toidles.
Come on, back. Aw, he put his gun away. Fuck you. See, the kicker is you can actually pin him against the wall and use that jump and slash attack, and it will knock him out in less than a minute.
You should all be dead right now by asphyxiation.
Should, but it is a cartoon after all. Are you aware of the pathing glitch on the sewer stage? Not really, but then I've never really stuck around for very long.
Okay, now I know what I need to grab. I need to get, Hold on, let me just do multiple... You know, I'm gonna do multiple pages, because, hey, multiple tabs makes life easy. You guys remember the day when if you wanted an additional tab, you'd have to open up a whole other window?
Yes, I do.
Weren't those days just amazing?
And if you want to call it amazing, sure, I just call it torture.
Yep, it's Skylake I want to go with. It's the newer one. It's got the higher number on it.
Wow, I just got cock-blocked out of a pizza.
Cock block!
No pizza for you!
No, Reese, you may have pizza. Wasn't the original TMNT extremely dark? Like the comic book?
Yes. And they actually based part of the movie on that.
Which one?
The first movie. The live-action one.
Which live-action one?
There was... when I say the original, I mean the one... The original.
Yeah, I know the one in what, was it the 90s that they made it?
I think it was... I think it was either 89 or 90. One of the two.
Very late 80s or to early 90s. When we had Senior in the White House. We'll go with that.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, it was 1990.
But yeah, they darkened it, did they darken it a little bit? It's been a while since I've seen it, because I've actually seen all three.
Well, Raphael does say damn.
Yeah, that I don't consider that necessarily dark.
Plus, it was always nighttime.
There have been kids' movies where night has been prominently featured.
But yeah, they actually killed the Shredder in the very first mission. That was the whole point of the Turtles being trained, was so that Splinter could get his revenge. And it just so happens that the Shredder was looking to set up a security racket in New York City with his Foot Clan.
Yep.
So they beat the crap out of the Foot Clan. They beat the crap out of Shredder, and they give him, quote, an honorable way out by allowing him to kill himself by seppuku. Or whatever.
Seppuku.
Yeah. And Shredder decides, no, I'm just going to use a thermite grenade and wipe out the entire rooftop.
Killing himself in the process.
So Don takes one of his bows, throws it at Shredder's face, and knocks his ass out. He falls right off the rooftop, and, well, all you see is a big boom. And all that's left is the remaining of one of his gauntlets.
Still not dark enough.
There was a lot of blood.
And definitely darker compared to the animated series.
Definitely.
Okay, that guy just jumped out of a manhole, through The man will cover at you like it was nothing, and you just hit it back with a katana made out of what? Metal you found in the sewer?
I'm gonna say it's probably a legit katana.
Where did he get 2 katanas? That's my question.
Probably from a melee weaponry shop. I mean, they do exist. You can buy swords at any store that sells them. You can buy sais from any store that sells them.
True, but here's the problem. Those are not often weapons grade.
Some of them are. Keep in mind, this is a fictionalized universe where supposedly the weapons you buy are legit.
No, I demand 100% realism now, damn it.
I mean, you'll probably get it now, but back then, no.
Ah, Mr. Frankenstein, I haven't even seen you in a while.
So, Frankie,
How have things been?
Keep the time.
also a fun little fact about the comic, about the original Eastman Laird comics. The second story dealt with a scientist by the name of Baxter Stockman, this African American scientist. I don't know why that's important, but anyway, he decided to build these mousers as a way of controlling the rat problem, but really he wants to ransom the city. And eventually does that. He ransoms the city, saying, "I'm going to destroy this building unless you give me $1 million or something like that." His assistant does not approve of these methods and tries to escape and is eventually saved by the turtles. By the way, this assistant goes by the name of April O'Neil.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of where they got the whole jumpsuit thing from. That she was wearing a blue jumpsuit, but well, after that story arc ends, she ditches the jumpsuit and just goes with regular clothing. By the way, Baxter threatens that he threatened to take down a building, and he did take down a building. I guess the Mousers chewed their way through the foundations. He then threatened that one of the World Trade Center towers would be toppled unless he was given $10 million.
Ooh, yeah, that's kind of topical at the time, though. with the bombing.
I'm trying to remember. Did the first Trade Center attack happen around that time? I keep thinking it was a little bit later.
It was bombed in '93.
Okay, so that happened after this comic was made.
Jesus, that's kind of dark.
Because if I remember correctly, The comic was made back in, I think, the mid-'80s. The TV series didn't come out until '87. Because I know it was a year after the Transformers movie.
That Transformers movie was actually kind of cool. You know, that they took one of the most popular characters of the show and, you know, in the first scene.
Took one of the most popular characters and killed him, yes.
Yep.
Along with several others. I mean, hell, let's see, Brawn gets shot in the shoulder and dies. Prowl is shot through the shoulder and he also dies, but his death looks a little bit more gruesome. His eyes start smoking and he just falls over dead. Ratchet and Ironhide gets shot numerous times in the chest, and then they're shot by Megatron and they fall over. Megatron tells his plan, "Hey, I'm going to sneak into Autobot City in their own shuttle and kill them all." Ironhide's like, "No! Such heroic nonsense." And he gets shot point blank with his fusion cannon.
Yeah, well, one thing I never got, why was Megatron a gun that someone else had to use?
Don't know. I also don't know why he was a P-38 Walther pistol. Yes, he was a German pistol. Of all things. Yeah, Frankenstein, later in the movie, yeah, Megatron was near death and he happened to be floating toward this, he may as well be Satan, because because he's devouring other planets and he has the power to reformat robots just by his mere will.
That is not a German P-38 at all.
What is it then?
It's an amalgamation of multiple guns, and no, it's not the Luger either.
It's not? Huh. Okay.
I mean, it looks like a P-38, but it's not the same weapon. A P-38 looks very different. Though, yeah, I'm looking at the gun mode as a picture taken from the from the cartoon. It looks like a straight blowback design or some sort of delayed blowback, probably. If it was shooting actual guns, it's got that weird extension to the barrel because, you know, it's a laser gun and they always have to have that. It's got, you know, a magazine in the handle and it's got a stock, which is common with guns of that era, but let me check what a P-38 looks like. I will concede there are many similarities. Actually, you know what? Yeah, you're right. It actually is close to a P-38 design. It's just a simplified look. I was mistaken. But what? Okay, in later versions of the show, they turned him into a tank.
Later versions of like later variations, later series is, yeah. I think it started with Robots in Disguise.
Yeah, and I think that was a good replacement for him. A tank makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, and they tried to retcon that with Devastation, to where he always transformed into a tank, even though he was originally a gun.
What was it? Did he turn into like a fixed laser cannon in the movie? When he was Galvatron?
When he was reformatted into Galvatron and given a much better voice actor, I might add. Yeah, he transformed into some kind of mounted laser cannon. And the first thing he did was kill Starscream.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry. I don't care which cartoon it is. Starscream needs to die. Why does he keep him around?
That was one of my favorite parts of the entire movie. Coronation Starscream? This is bad comedy.
Megatron, is that you?
Here's a hint.
Bang! I like everyone hates Starscream. Do you guys watch the Transformers Prime show at all?
I know of it, but at that time I didn't care much for Cartoon Network.
It's not bad.
Okay, back against the wall so I can melee it. There you go. Go down like a good rhino.
Let's move it. I'll owe you one.
Good God, I hated those spear chuckers.
And they hated you.
With a passion, I might add.
Does that make you feel better?
No.
Enforcer, make him feel better.
No.
Not too good stuff.
Even if he wanted to, I don't think he'd be able to.
Okay, then just send him a box of cookies or something. That might help.
Ooh, cookies. I like cookies.
Almost everyone does.
I like me some cookies.
God damn it, Netflix, stop being a finicky little website. Oh, you can get 32 gigabyte per modules now for RAM?
You know, I'm not quite surprised.
Yeah, I don't know why you would. It just seems like overkill at this point.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get 2 8 gig sticks. And then be upgradable to 32. Because will you ever need more than 32 gigs of RAM?
Not unless you have a high grade server you need to do, but then again, that's only for server stuff. For user computers, nah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get a couple of G-Skill Ripjaw Series 5.
Sounds like a good deal.
Yeah, $90 for 16 gigs. That's a pretty good price. It's the newer technology as well, so some minor future, making my computer future resistant.
Speaking of computers and hardware, I had a big scare the other day.
Rutro.
Rudro indeed. My computer was heating up something awful over the weekend, and I decided once again to take the thermal paste off, put a new coat on. I couldn't get the CPU back on. It just would not fit. So I had a really bad suspicion. I turned it over. Sure enough, some of the pins were bent.
No.
I know. I was heartbroken because I know what I needed. I just didn't have I just didn't have tools that were thin enough to really get between the pins and straighten them out. Plus, my eyesight's slowly starting to go bad, so I couldn't really see the pins all that well in terms of making sure that they're straightened up again. Luckily, Dad came home from the hospital so that he can help out, and he was able to he was able to get his tools and help out. I
Oh,
can't
nice.
I can't thank him enough. I can't
Pop,
thank him.
safe computer.
Although
He deserves medal.
Although I have to say now, I cannot risk pulling that CPU back out again. If I'm gonna have to take the thermal paste off and put a new coat on, I have to risk doing it sideways while it's still in the processor. I just can't risk it anymore.
You can do it.
Not without getting a new computer altogether.
Well, no. The cleaning the thermal paste out while it's still in the little housing
Yeah.
area. Yeah, basically you just got to be very efficient and Q-tips.
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
I
Q-tips
know,
will
I
work
know.
very well. Yeah. Just make sure to quickly hit with a fiber-free cloth afterwards.
I used to do the Q-tips with rubbing alcohol. I used to do that, and then I just realized it took way too much time, and I remembered that baby wipes also have alcohol on them. So I went ahead and just started doing that.
That works. I'm trying to select a graphics card. Anyone got any insights?
How much are you willing to spend?
I'd say about $350 at the most. I've always had a rule: if you're spending more than $300 on a graphics card, you're either making the next Pixar movie or are trying to make your EP grow. There's no reason to buy a graphics card over about $300, $350.
You could try getting a. Well, let's see. I have a. Shit. What kind do I have again? Let me take a look at my my Corsair temperature monitor, because it has the exact model on it for my graphics card. So I have a GeForce GTX 960. You could always give that one a shot.
Yeah, I'm considering getting its big brother, the 1060.
You really want to spend that much?
It's only $250.
Really? If I was close to 1,000.
No, dude, that's like the GTX 1080 Ti Platinum Coated Edition.
That's good to know.
Holy crap! They actually have a version of the card I'm looking at in a mini ITX form. That's kind of cool.
Awesome.
I'll keep that in mind in case I ever make make the big bucks and want to make like the smallest gaming computer possible off of an ITX frame.
Like the Gigabyte bricks?
Pretty much, yeah. I basically get a small. I actually have the case in mind. It looks industrial almost, being black and yellow, and it's got a carry handle. I would totally bring that to XP Fest and set up a gaming grade computer, since the PC Master Race must always be represented at gaming conventions. Ah, rocket powered skateboards, right when you know you're in the 80s.
That miniature choppers. That was also a thing, wasn't it? Oh god. The purple ones. The purple choppers were the worst, because those were the ones that dropped bombs. And if you're not careful, they can wipe you out instantly.
Okay, this one is a bit cheaper and has more display ports, and they're effectively the same speed. I think I'm going to go with it. Because, hey, doesn't everyone just love display ports?
I don't know yet. Supposedly it's like to complement the HDMI, but I just don't know.
It's the same pins, just different pin outs. I don't, and I think it's also not encrypted like HDMI is. And it's becoming very popular amongst the gaming community. Well, holy crap. I think I'm going to be under what I thought my budget was going to be for my computer refresh.
Yay!
I was expecting about $1,500 total for just my computer. But I think this refresh might be just a tad over $1,000.
Awesome.
I'm quickly going through the parts. Oh, I've got to get one more thing, and then I will be good. And that is the SSD, and it's an SSD of Doom, like the Dick of Doom, but even more awesome.
Okay, that was bullshit. Those foot soldiers were right next to that barrel when I said to blow it up.
It's a 512-bit M.2 SSD. Let me quickly get its specs because, okay, max sequential read, 2.5 megabytes per second. Sorry, 2.5 gigabytes per second. I was a bit off. I forgot the 2 zeros. I think there's an updated version that's coming out soon, though. Yep, yeah, I don't... Oh, that's the 1 terabyte version. No wonder it's so expensive. Yeah, sorry, I made a mistake. It's actually going to be 3,500 megabytes per second for the SSD I'm planning on getting. So, yes, my computer will be a race car. Who wants to ride in the race car with me?
Beep beep.
There is no beep beep, there is only vroom vroom.
Oh.
Mine's more of a hot rod, complete with giant exhaust pipes.
Actually, no, I will be closer to budget than I thought, my bad. I forgot that I was going to get a cooler.
Yeah, fun little fact about the Stone Warriors, Grand Tour and Trag. They both have an unusually large vertical hitbox.
Interesting.
So you can hit them before they're even on the same vertical axis as you. Vertical, I meant to say horizontal axis. Meaning, you can swipe at them, and it'll stun them. It'll stun both of them long enough for you to get all the way up to the top of the screen and reset your position. And you don't even have to go to him and hit him. Just wait for him to come to you, swing at him, and then move to the top or bottom of the screen depending on where you're at.
About to say vertical, horizontal, same thing.
Only in the 3D game.
There it is.
Why does Splinter look like someone punched him in the nose?
Well, they were attempting to mimic the 1980s cartoon series.
Actually, I am still under budget. Amazingly.
I would say that is sauce a la awesome.
Yep. So yeah, that covers... Oh! I forgot, I need to get a copy of Windows 10 in here.
Really? No Linux for that machine?
That comes later as part of an update. An update to the hardware. I'll be adding in it. I've got two M.2 slots, so I'll have a smaller and cheaper M.2 SSD in the second M.2 slot, and it'll be my backup system in case the main one goes down for whatever reason. Because if I remember right, you can actually set up Linux to... Hold on. Software... operating system. Well, holy shit. They're still selling Windows 7 on Newegg.
That's good to know. Unfortunately, for some reason, I can't seem to get my mom's laptop and my dad's laptop to access Windows Update with Windows 7.
Yeah, I've been noticed my computer's been having trouble with that too. I had to switch to a different virus scanner because I was utilizing Windows Security Essentials, and I was worried since it wasn't updating that I could be vulnerable.
I see.
Right.
My brother and I spent close to, I think $10 trying to get this far in the game. This was as far as we could get, was General Trag, and it freaked me out every time he cocked that gun, which turned out to be a rocket launcher.
Oh, let me quickly check something for Windows 10.
Of course, I learned that his pistol whip is actually more dangerous than his rocket launcher. But yeah, fun little fact: the same technique works with General Trag. The only problem is that he moves a lot faster. So you have a lot less time to react.
Wow. So people are bitching that you can't disable that there's auto update on Windows 10. Yet the first Google search I looked up tells me exactly how to do it. And it's really not that hard.
Some people exist just to bitch.
Got it. Yeah, because literally you go in, you gotta kind of go into a more obscure area of the OS, but it's literally you just type in this group policy editor. You enter the group policy editor. And you just, work your way down, then there's a configure automatic updates. You can literally say, you can enable it, then you can set it to, notify me. Basically, you can literally set it to don't do anything without me telling you to.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I got it set with mine, because it doesn't install the updates automatically. It tells me, it's like, hey, you got updates, and it's like, okay, install them.
Yeah, and personally, I'm not going to install anything but security updates, and the non-optional Windows updates, probably. Oh, and drivers. Microsoft's, interestingly enough, pretty good about updating drivers, since they're usually getting them from manufacturers direct.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. Man. Then there's the whole it's spying on you thing. Isn't it really easy to disable that if you got a professional?
It was really easy for me. I just had the settings to, basically not, let your data be known and all that stuff when I did it. But then again, I just did an upgrade from Windows 7 to 10.
What do you mean?
Well, when I did the upgrade to Windows 10, it gave me all those options. Like, do you agree to have your data transferred to Microsoft or your third-party apps to do stuff? And I just said no.
Yeah, I usually read that stuff. Amazingly, no one does.
Shocking.
Yeah, and it's also it's not even in an obscure settings menu. It's in a it's literally two settings in the settings menu. The main one, the privacy settings. Under General, send info about how I write to help us improve typing and writing in the future. Turn that off. And then getting to know you, turn that off in speech, inking, and typing. That's all you need to do.
Alright, I got 2 lives left. You guys think I can beat Shredder?
I don't know.
I think you can, said the little engine that could before he died.
Well, at least I know which one the real one is.
Yeah, that would be important.
Okay, I think I got all the parts that are important. So, hooray! So you're fighting 2 shredders.
One's fake, one's real. And every time you kill the
Hey.
fake one, he splits again.
How do you know which one's real and which one's fake?
The fake one only has like 16 hit points. The real shredder has about 175. When you knock,
So-
when you're just doing a little light beating and a helmet comes off, you know you got the fake one. The real one
Okay.
takes a little bit more of a beating.
So basically, if the fake one takes Alyssa's helmet quickly, you know you got the fake one. Then to avoid him and beat on the other guy.
Okay, I have spent $275 beating the game on normal. I just looked at the coin counter. I put in 11 coins.
That's not bad.
Yeah, for the usual beat 'em up that will just cough, have you eat up quarters and that stuff. That's pretty good.
Oh yeah. For those that actually saw the Until We Win tribute that I made for Batman, this was what I was going to do the second time around. I was going to do one for how to save money beating TMNT.
Even though very few of these arcades still exist.
True, but you can. There are still places. There are still ways you can play the game at home. If you happen to have already bought the game on XBLA or PSN and did not bother to delete the game, you can still play it on that. That's the recent example. If you happen to have a copy of TMNT, I'm sorry, TMNT 2 Battle Nexus, that's got the arcade game included on the disc. I don't know if it's unlockable, but it is there.
Yep. Oh yeah, because I found out about that Kindle Fire. The Kindle Fire is just a tad bullshit.
It is? You tried it?
No, I looked into it. It turns out,
By the way,
What's this?
no illicit stuff on here, remember?
No, I'm talking about legitimately get access to the whatchamacallit. Damn it, I'm derping here.
First off, are we talking about the tablets or the media center?
Fire TV, yeah, Kindle Fire TV. To gain access to ESP and all that stuff, you have to have a cable subscription. The entire point of the Fire TV is to get rid of that, isn't it?
One would
Am
think.
I taking crazy pills?
One would think, right?
Am I taking crazy pills?
I don't know. Because I've noticed it too, especially with FX, Fox, and several other channels. They all require you to have like some kind of membership to where you sign in, and I think you're spending like $10 a month, maybe $5 a month, just to access the online content for that channel. That's what they think their content's worth. Apparently the TMNT people thought that their stuff was worth more than what Konami was offering. Otherwise, we couldn't play it otherwise, we could still play it on XBLA or whatever console that was offering the game to download. Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, that was TMNT. Teenage Mutant, Quarter Muncher, Teenage Mutant Quarter Muncher. Anyway, yeah, I only spent about $275 beating the game, which is awesome.